Picture this. A teenager opens a video app on their phone. The goal is super simple, right? Just watch one quick clip. Nothing crazy happens. No one is forcing him to stay on the app. There's no formal contract signed, and absolutely no money changes hands. It feels entirely free. Yet, well, by the time he finally looks up from that screen, something highly valuable is gone. He kind of can't even remember what that very first video was. Maybe it was a cat playing a piano, or, I don't know, someone power washing a driveway. Most of us would just shrug and say, oh, we just lost track of time. But the source material we're exploring today argues that something much more profound and honestly much more calculated just occurred.
20 minutes. That is exactly what was lost. Just let that sit for a second. An unreceipted transaction just took place right under our noses. 20 minutes of a human life were quietly extracted. So you got to ask yourself, who took those 20 minutes? How did they take them? And maybe most importantly, why?
Okay, let's dive into this. Welcome to this explainer on the invisible transaction, the economy of human attention. Today, we're mapping out one of the largest yet kind of quietest economic exchanges in all of human history. We're going to visualize exactly how a newly discovered natural resource is being mined from us literally every single day.
Section 1. The real digital currency.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is, to understand this modern economy, we actually have to debunk a massive myth. Most of us just assume the internet is built on information. But information has never been more abundant. Almost any fact, lecture, or book can be reached in seconds. You don't build an economy strictly on something that's infinitely abundant. The reality is that the digital economy runs on something older, scarcer, and far more personal. It runs on scarcity. And that scarce resource, it's your attention. It is the absolute true currency of the digital age. It's not just some harmless byproduct of you browsing the web. No way. It is the actual asset being exchanged billions of times a day, entirely without our conscious awareness. It's a natural resource being actively, deliberately extracted.
Section 2. The invisible transaction. Let's walk through this step by step, because it's absolutely fascinating. Step 1. You open a social feed. Step 2. The platform quietly observes. It tracks how long your eyes rest on a post, which images make you pause, what makes you come back for more. Data is really just the record of this activity. But the actual transaction? That happens in step 3. Your moments of human awareness are packaged up and sold to advertisers. Because no money leaves your bank account and, no receipt ever pops up, we just assume nothing of value is exchanged. But as we know, economies do not run on generosity. If billions of people use a service, someone is paying the bill. And that someone is you, paying with your awareness.
Section 3. The economics of scarcity. So the crucial point is 24. This is a hard limit. Did you know the average person will spend roughly 33 years of their life looking at screens? That's wild. Oil can be extracted in greater quantities. Food can be grown on more land. Factories can ramp up production. But human attention, it cannot be manufactured. Every single person on Earth gets the exact same daily allocation, 24 hours. It's a finite amount of energy and a strictly limited capacity to focus. Literally no new technology or massive investment can magically increase this number. But contrast that fixed supply to the demand. It is virtually unlimited. News organizations, advertisers, streaming platforms, political campaigns, educators, your favorite creators, every single one of them wants a piece of your 24 hours. The modern world is packed with countless actors fiercely competing for the exact same finite resource. And what happens when a resource has a fixed supply but unlimited demand? Well, scarcity creates immense value. Industries inevitably emerge to capture it. They aren't doing it out of pure cynicism. They're doing it because the financial incentives are absolutely irresistible. It's like a massive gold rush.
Section 4. The industrialization of distraction.
And this brilliantly illustrates what happens next. Because once attention became measurable, it became something that could be ruthlessly optimized. Systems quickly learned what is engaging, outrage, rapid novelty, high emotion. These hold the human eye the longest, so they are the things that spread like wildfire. But compare that to what is actually important: nuance, quiet reflection, careful analysis. These rarely trigger that same rapid engagement. The platforms prioritize what engages us, creating an information environment shaped by rapid emotional triggers, not by what's actually important to us. As the sources point out, the attention economy didn't invent distraction, it industrialized the whole shebang.
Section 5. What we actually lose.
Now, this is no longer just about macroeconomic business models. Listen to this quote. Attention is the foundation of almost everything that makes a human life meaningful. Think about that for a moment. Every creative act, every deep memory, every moment of genuine understanding, it all begins with your attention. When you give it away carelessly, you aren't just losing 20 minutes. You are losing your capacity for connection, learning, and really experience itself. At scale, the consequences are staggering. What's at risk on a societal level? Careful deliberation, genuine inquiry, meaningful education, real, authentic conversations. The slow, kind of unglamorous work of actually understanding the world. A culture that can't sustain its attention will eventually struggle to sustain the very things that attention makes possible. The tech companies didn't exactly set out to produce these cultural effects, but well, incentives rarely ask permission before producing consequences. Section 6. Guarding the vault. For centuries, we've built physical structures to protect what is scarce and valuable. We build reservoirs around our water. We build heavy vaults around our gold. We build libraries around our knowledge. The logic is universally understood, right? If something is finite and valuable, you protect it. Attention is finite. Attention is incredibly valuable, yet we spend years giving it away to endless notification reflexes and scrolling feeds. So why don't we build vaults? Well, because the theft is so quiet. We notice when $100 goes missing from our bank account. We notice when we lose a whole day. But attention leaves quietly. It's the teenager from our opening. It's one interruption, one algorithm recommendation, one totally ordinary evening. Actually, scratch that. It's thousands of ordinary evenings. These quiet, unremarkable disappearances happen to all of us, hundreds of times a day. And once they're gone, they are completely unrecoverable. The question is no longer whether attention is one of the world's most valuable resources. The massive digital economy proves that it absolutely is. The quieter, much more urgent question for you to answer today is this: will we begin treating it that way? Will you start guarding your attention like the finite, irreplaceable resource it is? I'll leave you with that thought. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I highly encourage you to take a hard look at where your 20 minutes go today.